Hello everybody, this is Deidre with Paper Crafts and Planners. I just received last week my Cut Above card kit for May through August from Close to My Heart. I haven't taken everything out yet. I did remove some wrappers so we don't have a glare, but I haven't looked at all of it yet. So here's the stamp set, and it's always a very usable sentiment stamp set for these kits, which I love because it really builds up my collection of different sentiments. We've got a thank you, hello friend, happy wedding day, happy birthday, another thank you. Let's party, dream big, thinking of you, oh happy day, love you, dad, and then there's a mom and a mom because these are sold in other countries also. Congratulations and love you. So I love that stamp set. There's an instruction sheet. It's going to walk you through. There are 12 cards this time and 2 of each. So you're going to make 24 cards this time. And I love that they're just such a great variety. And they will be seasonal too. So as we get towards Christmas, that one will have a few Christmas things in it, maybe some New Year. So I love that. There's a graduation card in this one. I mean, just really nice to have these seasonal things. Okay, and here are the card envelopes. We've got some pretty light blue and light pink in the A2 size, and then some of them are going to be slimline cards. You're going to make 4 slimline cards, so we have some of those envelopes. Here are the card bases, and so you can see you just fold them, and they always have some decor on them. And there are some slimline card bases also. Then you receive a little mini of the black ink, the dye ink from Close to My Heart, which I really love that black ink, and a little stamp block. And then you're going to receive all of these cut aparts, and you can see there are 2 of each sheet. So you see this one has card one, and it says all the different cards that these go for. Besides the instruction sheet, this would be very clear for you to do. Some of the pieces will be stamped on, some of the pieces will just go straight on the cards in layers. So what I usually do, what I'm going to do right now, oops, lost that, is I'm going to punch out all the pieces, and then I'll put both of number 1 card bases together with the pieces that go with it, and I'll make some piles here. And then likely what I'll do is put together one of the cards first myself off camera so that I can make sure I'm doing it correctly and I don't miss anything. And then I'll come back and put the second card together on camera. One thing I will say about these, they are great to do with someone who maybe is not a card maker, a child, or someone who's just new to making cards. This is the perfect kit for them because it's all really spelled out. They're going to put together some really cute cards, and I think it's a great activity to do with someone. It would be a lot of fun to do that. I haven't done that yet, but it would be a lot of fun to do with someone, and it's very reasonably priced for what you get, and you get to build up your stash of stamps, which I really love that, and stamp blocks if you don't have any of those. So let me get this all together and we'll come back and I'll show you what I have and we'll put together some cards. Okay, we have card number 1 here. I know I talk about this all the time, but before I use any stamps ever, I will take a piece of scratch paper, it can be copy paper or whatever you want, and I stamp out each one of the stamps so that I can make sure they're stamping nicely. Then I clean them off, maybe stamp them again. I just want to make sure they're giving me a really good impression and that there's nothing funky about a stamp. Sometimes you get one that has like a little extra piece on top of it somehow in the manufacturer, but it just comes right off, but you need to know if that has to be done. Okay, so we're going to ink this back up again, and you can see if you're inking this up properly that you have a really nice thick coat of ink. Let it set for a minute, make sure you don't need to go back and touch up some pieces. And on this piece we're going to stamp. We could see on the picture that it's a rounded edge at the top and the bottom like that, and it has this display of hearts down here at this corner. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to ink this up again. I can see it's got some spots that weren't inked properly, and I'm just going to try to get that a little even and stamp it down. Give it a nice press because this is a very solid thick stamp. On the thin one, sometimes you don't want to press too hard because you can kind of distort the words, but on this one it's a nice thick. And each time I use a stamp, I'm going to clean it off and put it back on the piece. That way when I'm done I could just put everything away and I don't have a mess. Okay, So I can see that this goes right about here. It's just touching this blue, about that much on the side. So we're going to put this down, and I'm just going to adhere this directly down on the card. Right about there. Looks good. And then we have some hearts to place around. And I have them right here. They're tiny. So I'm going to use one of these little pickup tools to kind of pick it up, but you could absolutely use your fingers if you don't have one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and put where I know one's going to go there, one's going to go about there, and one's going to go there. And then I could just pick it up, pick the hearts up, and place them down on top. And don't worry, well, I don't worry because I have this Barely Art glue and it dries clear and matte. So if I get a little bit too much and it kind of oozes out the side, I'm not worried about it. And then we're going to do a pink one right there. Maybe tip that way. And then down here a couple more go. Looks like one there and one there. If you hear some noises, my grandson is in the other room and he's squealing and having a good time. Let's see, it goes right there. And that one right there. I think this one is really cute, and here's the one I did before. Really cute. I love the rainbow, and you can see the back has a color too. All right, card number 2. I think this one might be my favorite. So let's see. This is going to go in between. You can see all this little stitching they have there. Hopefully you can see that clearly. And so it's going to go right there with this little spot towards the bottom. And we're going to stamp the hello friend to where the friend part of it is on top of that line. So let's go ahead and do that. Ink this up really well. Let me move that out of the way so you're not getting a shadow on top of what I'm doing. Now if you get a little black, it's a good idea to go ahead and wipe it off so that in case you tip this block one way or the other, it will not leave a black mark. And I'm just going to press nicely. Here we go. Really pretty. And we're going to adhere this directly down. On top, and I want to make sure the stitching shows a little bit at the bottom and the top right here. Little stitched lines. And then we have 3 flowers that match the flowers that are on here. And I'm going to pop them up just a little bit. You don't have to, but I think it's nice. Let's see what I do with my, here it is, right here at my elbow. Sometimes I think you guys can see where I've put things and you're probably like, it's right there, lady. Well, I'm trying to figure out what I did with it. I'm going to cut this piece in half. This is one of my favorite things, to have the foam tape on a roll, because then you could just cut out however much you need. And you don't have to worry about, and some of those foam dots are really thick, and I don't really like something that thick. I can link to, I think I just purchased this one on Amazon. But if I find it on Amazon, I will link to it. And put that piece right there. We're going to pull off the backing and then just line this up so it's going the same way right on top of the flower. Let's see, right there. I think I like these popped up. There's card number 2, and we have 2 of these. I think that these are cards, these are so cute, but I think that I'm going to take these to a nursing home to donate, one that I've been donating to. Okay, card number 3, and it looks like this is going to set a little bit of an angle. So we want the sentiment to go straight up and down there. Let me get this inked up. Edges, and I think we're going to go right about there. And then we're going to put it, oh, I might have done it. I should have done it more at an angle, this stamping. That's okay. We've got, it'll look a little different than the first one I did, but we can trim these edges off if they're not fitting exactly. See how I should have done it was more at an angle with that happy wedding day going a different direction. Okay, that's fine. This one will look a little bit different. And we'll go like this. Trim off those edges. It just has a little bit of a different look on it. What I should have done was what I did the first time and lay this down and arrange it before I did the stamping. Okay, I'm going to do this one down flat. Let's see, it goes this way, it looks like. And then I'm going to pop up this one that goes on top of it. This one. And this one I'm going to pop up because it goes kind of over the top of the other one. Just like this. I think that's pretty. And there we go. And here is card number 3. Okay, card number 4 has a little tag that we're going to stamp onto, and then it has all these little floral elements, and we're going to tuck those onto the tag. And this pretty much goes straight up and down. And actually, I think theirs is a little higher on the tag than what I did, but that's okay. Just arrange our flowers a little differently. And let's see, looks like they put it right about there, I think. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so there are 3 flowers and some sprigs here, 2 that look like that, and then 2 that have these pieces that are in there. Hopefully you can see that you can poke out. So they have an open centerpiece. I'm going to do that really quickly on them. I'm just using this little tool-in-one from Spellbinders that I love, but you can use a pin, straight pin, you could use whatever you have. And yes, I will have ink and glue all over my fingers by the time we're done with this. I always do. Is that one? By the way, while I'm thinking about it, I will link below to someone, her name is Bitty Penny, you might already follow her, who is doing a card drive for Uvalde. And in case you want to donate any cards, so like thinking of you, sympathy, you know, general kind of support cards. And I'm just arranging these, however, I'm not really looking at the picture. I know I want to put all this greenery down and then the flowers on top. So I've got 4 of these little sprigs and then 3 flowers. So I'm just going to put them down to where they're not covering my stamping, and otherwise not be too worried about it. Anyway, I will link to her channel below and specifically her video about the card drive. And she's going to be collecting all the cards and then sending them on. So if you have cards that you'd like to send, or some that you already have made, or you need to make them, whichever way, go ahead and send them off to her. I'm sure she would greatly appreciate it. Trying to get as many cards as possible sent. Put that one there. And then this one, it looks like they have it a little bit lower, so I'm going to do that also. And then I think I'm going to pop up this big one on top of them. And do that right about there. And here's the other one. Of course, the one I do off camera always looks better. Now on this one, I punched the little hole out here and I added a little orangey twine that I had in my stash. And I think that's cute. On this one, I just left it the way it is. You could also put like a little enamel dot or something there. That would be really cute. Card number 5 has this panel with these, with the happy day that you just sort of punch out. They kind of fall out actually. And I kept them. I might use them for something else because you don't need them for this particular card. But I kept it from the first card I did, so I'm going to keep this one too. You never know when I might want a happy day already done for me. I could ink these up in any color I wanted or spray them with a mist, whatever I feel like for another card. I should get several cards. If I did, you took one of the happies and then stamped a birthday underneath. That would be cute. Okay, so you just punch everything out of here, and then this panel sits right on the top. You see how it changes that and makes it look so cute. All right, so we're going to adhere this. There is a little bit of stamping to this one also, and we'll do that next. Getting close to dinner time. I'm starting to get hungry. Might be going a little faster for that reason. Okay, let's line that up. And really what we need to do is kind of line it up at the edge of the card, and then it'll all fit perfectly. There we go. Smooth that down. Okay, the stamping is on this banner. Let's see which way it goes. It looks like that's right. Let's put this little thing behind it so I get a good stamp. I'm going to stamp this happy birthday. And as per usual, I have a little black ink there. Okay. Just stamp it, kind of follow the curve of that banner. There we go. And it looks like they have it right about there on the card. Let's put that down. And I could pop this up too, but I think I'm just going to put it down just like that. And then there are two blue butterflies and one attaches to the top of the other, but let's put the big one down first. So make sure we fit it. Kind of goes right up to that banner there. And then this one, we're just going to put the glue right there in the center of it, where the body portion would be, and then put it down right there. And then that way these wings can have a little lift to them. I think that's really cute. And then we have this one that goes up there. And I actually do think I'm going to pop that one up just a little bit. Each of the top wings. A very big section here, so I might cut this one in half again. There. Okay. Pull off that backing. I think it'll look cute with this one popped up. I didn't do it on the first one, but I think it'll be very cute. And we're going to put it right about there. Okay, so we have two of these. Really cute. On card number 6, when I was punching the things out, I left this little piece behind, and you absolutely need it to stamp on. So don't do what I did. I had to fish it back out of the garbage because I left it behind. I did it for both cards, not just one. And fortunately, I did the card first, so I figured it out. Okay, let's see. We need the love you. All right, let's ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it more towards this end because you can see it's going to go, well, more towards that end because you've got these circles that are going to layer next to it. Okay. So we're going to put it right more towards the edge of this yellow piece, or orangey yellow piece, right like that. And then these, I got a little fussy with these because I didn't realize which ones needed to go on the bottom. These big ones mostly go towards the bottom. This one goes on top of this one. So I think I'm going to get the big ones down first this time so that I can make sure. And then this one needs to go down top of this, but farther down. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to put this one down first. I absolutely know that's going to go under a bunch of stuff. And it almost touches the top in their picture. And then, oops, that's not what goes there. This goes here. And then this one. And this one. So I think I'm going to start putting some things down and then layering them a bit. Okay, so I see this one goes off to the side, and I think you can turn the stripes any way you want it. But it goes on top of the red piece, and then this one goes down, but also on top of the red. So, and I'm not adhering the whole, like I'm leaving the edges without adhesive in case I want to slip something underneath. This one goes here. And again, I don't think I'd get too fussy with this. I would just do the best you can. All right, where's that big striped one? It goes like this, I think. It comes down a little bit. And then this blue one goes on top. And then there's a red one that goes here. This big blue one slips right under here, I think. And then it has an orangey one. Goes here, and one that goes here. Oops, goes over the red a little bit. But again, if you put these in a different order, I don't think it's going to make a big difference. I would just have fun with it. Okay, there's that one. And as you can see, my two don't look exactly the same. I think they're really cute. I love these colors, very colorful. This one was just a love you, but there is a mom and a dad. You could have put the love you up here and the mom or dad, change it up however you need to make cards that are useful for you. This card has some pieces that kind of go under other pieces, and then some, it's almost like it's woven in some areas. So we're going to do that, but let me show you what I did with my first card because I didn't realize some of the pieces were to go under others, and so I kind of, to get that same look, I cut like this piece right here. I cut it so that it looked like it went under the other piece. It doesn't really, they're just butted up against each other. I did that with a couple of them. So let's see if we can get away with not doing that this time, if I can actually, because there's something that's going to go under this. This big one, it goes all the way across. It fits right down here into this corner, and then it's going to go straight across. And I think it's one of the first ones. Nope. See, this red one goes under first. Okay, so let's do the red one. Again, it fits right into the corner and then comes down like that. So let's do that really quickly. I didn't pay as much attention when I was doing my first card and just started laying things down, and then realized I was I was not getting the things on top that needed to go on top. Okay, so this one, it looks like it goes next. It goes on top of this red piece. And, oops, not getting it into the corner. Right there. And then straight up. And then there's this orange one. And it's going to go, okay, there's another one right here. We're going to put it down next because the orange is to go on top of it. I actually think the blue is to go on top of it too, but we're not going to care about that. Let's see, right there. Yeah, I didn't realize the congratulations kind of goes on last, the stamped element, and then of course the hat. Because guess who didn't read the directions? She just started putting things together. Yeah, that would be me. Okay, move this over just a little bit. And it's nice because there are lines on the card here, so you can kind of follow to get things straight. Okay, so now I think we can do this one. Just like that. Where does the pink one go? Oh, the pink one was supposed to go under. Okay, let's do the pink one now. So it can go under the yellow. It won't go under the blue, but it'll go under the yellow. Okay, let's line it up over here. And then down here. There we go. If you get a little bit off, you can always trim a little piece off of the side if you need to. Okay, now let's put down the yellow. And it's going to line up here and go up here. So let's follow that line. There we go. So I have a little bit, tiny bit sticking over, and I'm going to just trim those off. Like that, and then we're going to put this congratulations across just like that. So some of that, it's underneath this orange stripe. I want to make sure I show that orange piece. There we go. And then I'm going to pop up the hat, I think. Let's cut a couple pieces for that. I think it just looks cute if it's sticking out just a little bit. And right about there. Okay, there's that one. And here's the one I did before. Okay, I messed up on this next one and I did not have the camera rolling when I put it together. But all I did was stamp the Dream Big right there on the card. So again, make sure you've primed the stamp so because it's going right on the card, you don't want to mess this one up. And then it just simply had all these layered pieces and I just followed the diagram. So there's a star with a heart on top and I just followed it, but you could do it however you want and just use all these elements. But I think I really like this one. And so it's got a lot of raised pieces to it. It's really pretty. I love the watercolor background to it with a little light stitching going across. Okay, we're already on card number 9. Has a couple elements. The first one is this butterfly that just goes straight down there. Let's put that down. Just kind of center that up a little bit. There we go. And then it has this floral piece. And let's see, it looks like it goes like this with the flower up at the top. So that's how we're going to do it. Just like that. Really pretty. And then it has this banner piece and they have a thank you on it. And I did a thank you on the first one, but I really have more of a need for a butterfly with a happy birthday on it. So I'm going to use the happy birthday. That's the nice thing. There are 2 stamps in this one that are curved a little bit to use on a banner. So I'm going to use the other one. And you can use, if you have more of a need, let's see, I think that needs to go down a little bit though. If you have more of a need for birthday cards, then do a birthday, not a thank you. Okay, let me ink that back up because I pulled that off. But all I did, because these are clear acrylic, you can kind of bend them and make them go a little bit differently if you have a banner to fit it on or whatever. I put a little more of a curve on the end of this happy birthday, so it fit on there the way I wanted it to. There we go. And we're going to put it on top. Just cross like that. So cute. This one's really pretty. Oh, and on theirs, they turned it this way, and I turned it this way. I just noticed. I did that. I did it the other way on the other one. But again, it looks fine either way. I think it's really cute. These flowers, some are going up, some are going sideways, so do whatever you want. On card number 10, there was this really pretty panel that popped out. Now, some of the leaves were still attached in there, and I just poked them out using a pokey tool, but you can use your finger. They came out pretty easily. But before I adhere that, I'm going to do the stamping because you can see it's right in the center. So I opened the card up just so it lay flat a little better, and I'm going to ink this up. Oh, I'm going to put this little padded piece under. It always is helpful when you're using clear acrylic stamps to have some sort of a pad underneath. And we're going to ink this up. Really pretty. The little loop on the U looks like it's a heart. And I'm just going to kind of center that. Press it down a little bit. There you go. And then this piece, it can be a little fussy because it's very thin. So I have this glue that has a really thin nozzle in it. If you don't have glue like that, another thing you can do is spritz some of your glue, squeeze it out onto a slick surface and take a little sponge, like a makeup sponge or something, and dab it on the back of this. So you're getting it without getting it, everywhere. You're just getting it on the frame where you want it. Anyway, that's another idea if you don't have a glue with a thin tip, but I highly recommend getting one. They really are so convenient. Sometimes by the time you finish putting your adhesive down, the initial places you put the adhesive are getting a little tacky. This glue does have just a little bit of time before it dries, and then you really need to have it, once you've pressed it down, you have just a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, let's put this all up here. I think I already got those spots. If there's a spot that I don't have, we can come back and add a little more. And I'm going to kind of get this as centered as I can, as even as I can. And like I said, we'll have a little bit of wiggle room we can do in case we're getting this off quite a bit. But I don't think that's too bad. Make that straight. There we go. And there's this one, and here is the first one I did. I think that's really lovely, that little frame, the way that turned out, and it's raised. It's just so pretty. Okay, on card number 11, they have Love You Mom, and I think I'm just going to center the Love You, and then on the inside I could always put Happy Mother's Day, Happy Birthday, whatever I want. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Love You Mom card. Mother's Day cards have already gone out in the mail, of course, for me, so I mean, it would be nice to have one for next year, but this way it's very versatile and I could do whatever I want with it. Okay, so on this one, it has these little scallop pieces. One goes at the bottom, one goes at the top. Just line it up, both edges, and then all the way to the bottom. Let's flip it over and do the same thing with the top. I love that they didn't just give you this little flower arrangement, little bouquet. And they also give you pieces that are going to go on top. So I love that. So it has some dimension to it. So let's put this one on. And I'm just going to kind of look, use their example, how they did it. It kind of lines up with that top there. There you go. And then we're going to put the love you across the bottom there. Just like that. And then we have 4 flowers to put down, kind of match up with flowers that are on there. And again, I'm going to put some dimension just because I think it looks nice to have them raised a little bit. This one on the back here. You don't have to do that. Or if you don't have the foam squares like this and you want to give it some dimension, use some of these scraps, like this poked out of the center of that frame. Cut them and just double them up underneath here, and you can make your own dimension without having the foam tape. You don't have to spend the money on the foam tape. I like it, and I like the convenience of it, but it's definitely not a necessity. Let's face it, making your own cards for people is not always the cheapest way, especially if you have if you don't mind giving Dollar Tree or whatever greeting cards. If I did that now, my family would revolt. I always do very personal things for everybody. I think making a handmade card is just so special, and these are so easy to do. Okay, there's that one. 2 of those. Okay, card number 12 has stamping directly on the card. So I put this little foam piece underneath there, and I make sure I don't have any black on there for sure. And I'm going to stamp it right up at the top about where they have it. There we go, turned out nicely. And then they have all of these party hats, and so I'm going to lay them out a little bit so I get my idea of where I want them to go. And then this one goes about there, this one goes here, and then we have 2 down here at the bottom. Okay, so I'll put this one down first. Just like that. And then this one's going to go down next. Like that. And then I'm going to put some dimension. Of course, you know I was going to say that, behind the top one. These, I started making this, doing the unboxing. Of course, I'm filming it, so it's taking a little bit longer. But let's see. It's not quite 5 o'clock. I started this around 2 o'clock. So it's 3 hours with me filming at the same time. So this would be much faster for you to put these together. Unless you're having fun doing it with a friend or a child, then take your time for sure. Take as long as you want. And there we go with that one. And then we're going to put the green one down, and then we're going to pop up that kind of rusty, almost a burgundy color. There we go. Sorry, I've been sick. I know I'm sniffling, and I joined a gym, caught some crud, haven't been back since I took up the last yoga class. It's been a few weeks. I just keep having coughing fits. Today's been pretty good though, so maybe I'll get to go back to the gym. I really love the yoga class, so I hope so. All right. So there is the last one going down. And I think this one's so, so cute. And that's all of them. I will link to this kit below if you're into having a subscription box show up every 4 months, and you can make 20 some cards each time and add to your stash, and especially a collection that you can do with someone. I think this is nice. You do one card while they do the other and see how they turn out. If they're different, if they're the same, I think it's a great idea to do this with a friend. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy crafting.